This is Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Hour number 2, Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown, Mike Somich. We are giggling because in our breakdown of the Mets and Nationals, we said, it's been working so far for Mitchell Parker. It will eventually not work, but so far it's been, okay for him. Well, the regression monster did, in fact, four first inning walks.
It's not great. It's not great, Matt.
4 first inning walks to go along with 3 hits. That equals 4 earned, 5 total runs. There was an error for Washington. So 5 spot in the top of the first there for the Mets.
Second day in a row. Now, yesterday's would have been a bad beat that I said, maybe I was really close to hitting the over here. Didn't do it. Kind of wish I had now. Give me that 5 spot in the first. Over feeling pretty good.
I'll tell you what, you and I can go walk 4 guys in an inning.
For
far cheaper than they're paying Mitchell Parker. That's for
sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I feel like I could be signed by any team as the cleanup guy. You got position players that go out there and throw 40. I could go throw 40 and get hammered for a couple innings and just save the bullpen.
I can tell you what we can't do is the Mets have a guy in single A right now, Ramon Gomez. And yesterday he was clocked at 104.5 on his fastball, Mike. He threw a 104.5 mile an hour fastball. To let you guys know, the fastest pitch recorded in the majors this season was 103.7. So he threw a 104.5 down there in single A. He has thrown 7 2/3 scoreless innings on the season so far. He missed all of 2024 with an injury. I'm going to say he recovered pretty well.
Yeah, I'm saying he's doing okay. I went to the batting cages yesterday, Matt.
Did you?
You've got batting cages here, and you've got the softball pitches, and then it goes up to 90 miles per hour. I'm like, I'll go take some hacks at 90, see if I can get a piece of any of them. I did not touch, not even foul off a single ball at 90 miles an hour. So it is hard to hit, though.
I was going to say, so people look and you look at a guy who, let's just talk Jock Peterson, for example, starts off the season 0 for 41 or whatever, and you're like, oh, this guy sucks. He's terrible. It's a round ball and a round bat, and they're throwing it as hard as they can and or making it move in a direction to try to keep you from putting it in play and hitting the actual ball. It is a very difficult thing to do. And if you, like you just said, if you haven't been to the batting cage anytime soon, go to the 50 mile an hour one and just see how you're doing, and then step it on up. And again, these guys are throwing 103.7 and 104.5. It's tough. It's hard to hit a baseball.
I made some good contact at 60, so I'm like, yeah, let's step it up. Let's see what I can do against the 90. Bad decision, Mike. That was a wasted $3.
Toronto Blue Jays on the board here early against Max Fried. He's gone an inning and a third. He has walked 2. He has given up 3 hits as well. 1 earned against Max Fried. Kevin Gausman, 1 inning in the books. He did not walk anyone. He did strike out 2 for the Blue Jays. And, Gausman, just one of those interesting guys, Mike. You kind of know what you're getting with him. You might get a dude that at his peak is like a top 10 pitcher in all Major League Baseball. So your bet is going to look like, man, this is easy money. Why don't I just bet him every single time he throws? And then on a bad day, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I bet Kevin Gausman again. So I try to not do the whole Kevin Gausman experiment as often as I can. But, again, it's just, he's a dude that at any given day could look like an ace Cy Young type caliber guy.
Well, it's funny. 2 years ago, I decided to try and track these pitchers as well. The big time bell curve pitchers where you could be either terrible or great. And I'm like, can I find out based on their first 2 innings of performance, can I bet them in game? Right? Because if we know we're getting a good Gausman start, you want to get in there. You want to have something on it. The problem is they blow up in the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th sometimes. Yeah. You don't know when the blow up's coming in the bad start. So it's so hard to try and get in front of this and say, okay, he's got his good stuff today. We're going to see a good outing. And then all of a sudden he just loses it in the 4th inning for some reason. So that was a fruitless endeavor, but at least an interesting one from a gambling perspective.
About 5 minutes left in the second quarter. The Knicks are up 11 currently there on the Pistons. So 37-26 as we are. They have not put the ball in the bucket here in the second quarter. Yeah. 8-7 so far in the second quarter. There's only 5 minutes left. Mike, I keep saying what me and you could do. I don't know if I could put up 8 points, but I feel like I might put up 8 points.
So this total closed at 218.5. In game now at 195.5. It's a 20-point adjustment here in the first half. Congrats to all you under tickets holders. I think, and this is another argument we could have, I think I could put up 10 points in an NBA game for the simple reason that I would get the Russell Westbrook treatment, man. No one's guarding me. Yeah. I'm the guy who's wide open in the corner every single time. I can hit a couple threes.
There you go.
You give me 10 shots. I think I can get 10 points in there.
Orioles 0-0 there. They did get a hit off Skubal, but that did not equal anything. 1-0 Twins in the bottom of the first there over the Angels. Angels without a hit so far. And then the Red Sox, I think, just put one on the board here against the Guardians. Yes, 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox over the Guardians early, top of the second there. In that one, we did get a solo home run from Ref Snyder on the Red Sox side of things. 15-14 for the Red Sox on the season here, Mike, a team that I threw in the ticket. As I said, I had the Orioles ticket and then I hated it once I saw what their pitching staff was going to look like. So I came in and tried to right my wrong here and bet this Red Sox team. I don't hate the bet currently. I think that, obviously Devers started off terribly, started to hit a little bit now. OBP now back up at least to that mid 350-ish range, which is what you want from your dude. If he's not hitting it, you want him walking. I think the Red Sox are still alive.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. I mean, I've got a good number on the Red Sox. We talked about it. I think it was about a month and a half before the season. I bet them at plus 550 to win the division. I'm still fine with it. I want to fade the Yankees, and I still kind of want to fade the Yankees. So to me, it's whether or not we can get around the Bronx Bombers here. And I think the Red Sox are the most likely team to do it. Little interest in the Blue Jays as well, but I haven't gotten to the account with them.
I know. I want to bet the Jays, and something is keeping me from pushing the button. I do want to bet the Jays because I kind of think that the upside there for this team is as high as as high as the Red Sox. I like the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Why would I not like the Jays? I think that if you're talking about upside, it's probably pretty equivalent. It's not like the Rays where our handicap for the Rays is, they just always figure it out. Somehow they just always figure it out. That's not the handicap here. It's like there's real good players on the Jays.
Well, and I'm out on the Rays this year, right? And I'm out on the Orioles, Matt. I know you love this Orioles team. They haven't hit the baseball at all. They're going to at some point start hitting the ball. I'm not saying that, but the pitching staff isn't that great either. They're 5 games back. They're 5 games back in the division. I just don't see them being able to make up a big ground on teams in front of them. And again, if I want to fade the Yankees and I've got a Red Sox ticket, kind of makes sense to play the Blue Jays too then, right?
First pitch, Astros and Royals coming in a few minutes here. This is Hunter Brown on the road with the Astros as minus 135 favorites. The Royals home dogs with Chris Bubich. That is plus 114. 7.5 is our total. Shaded towards the under actually here, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, Brown and Bubich both have, sub 1.5 ERAs. You look at the xERA numbers and their expected batting average numbers. They're all pretty much in line. I mean, Hunter Brown's around a 2.5 guy. Bubich is around a 2.6 guy. So very good numbers. I don't want to try and play the variance of their aggression here in either spot because they're just pitching really well right now. And neither of these offenses are offenses I have an overly large amount of confidence in. So hard for me to get to a side. I made the Astros minus 135. They're minus 140. So I'm right around that number. I did look at the first 5 under here. I couldn't find a 4. Everything was 3.5. And I felt like that was a little bit too low.
Yeah, and I mean, I looked at the total here, and then you look at the projection systems, kind of have this right on, right? I mean, they have both teams kind of right at that 3.5 number. We're sitting 7.5, a little bit of variance one way or the other. So I don't think there's a clear edge really at all here in this one. So going to be a pass for me. A few minutes after that, the Brewers and the Cardinals, Jose Quintana versus Eric Fetty. This is Cardinals by a couple pennies, actually. This is basically a coin flip here. At home against the Brewers, a flat 8 is the total.
Yeah, I went the over here. I wanted to find a way to go against Quintana. He's got a 0.96 ERA. His expected ERA closer to 5. So big time difference here between what we've seen on the field and what the stats have told us to expect from him. Fetty, the same time, he's got a 3.33. His expected's up there around 5 as well. So it feels like two situations where we have pitchers whose numbers are better than what we've actually seen on the field. The total sitting at just 8. I'll take a little shot at the over here. So give me over 8 Brewers Cardinals, Matt.
Yeah, both teams actually hitting a little better than I thought they were going to so far this year. Getting some production from dudes that I didn't think were really going to to step up and do it. I think Newt Barr is an interesting, kind of an interesting play here. He's going to be hitting leadoff for this team. So I think that he might be someone that, if you're playing DFS or something like that, maybe he's a dude that I would throw in the lineup. A little bit after that, we got the Reds and the Rockies. We'll break that one down. We got the White Sox and the A's, Rangers and Giants, Pirates and Dodgers. So all of those coming to you here a little bit later. The Rays on the road over at the Padres with Zach Littell, who has had a rough go at it to start the season for this Rays team. I think the most pleasant surprise for me, Mike, as we kind of kill this last minute here of the segment, I think the A's are spicy. I think the A's are kind of froggy, man. I don't think this is a team that a lot of people want to see on the schedule. I thought they thought it'd be a walkover, and instead, this A's team wants to play a little bit.
They do. They are hitting the baseball very well. Sanderson, I think, has been a phenomenal ad for them. You got Rooker and hitting in the 2-hole, who's hit the ball well. Butler's been good at the leadoff position. You've got frisky pitching. Yeah. Sears can throw. Severino can throw. You've got like even today, you've got Beto on the hill. He throws a good game every now and then. And then you've got the variance of the ballpark, right? Their home park, just because of the way that it plays, you're going to get some different results, right? So all those things make them a little bit interesting to me. I will say this, not really looking to lay minus 200 with the A's, though. That's a big number today, taking on the White Sox.
And that's the thing, right? It's like there are these certain teams where I'm willing to make the leap, but not at certain numbers. And that is, I ain't playing, just like we said earlier, I'm not playing the A's as massive favorites. For that Rangers team, Jack Leiter, back on the hill for them off of the IL. He dominated in his rehab start. So Jack Leiter, a Rookie of the Year candidate, should he keep up what he is doing. When we come back, let's talk some NBA with Rick Kamla.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Brown, Mike Somich, as we Major League Baseball action going on. We got some hockey going on. We are 1-1 Winnipeg and St. Louis. You are not winning that bet currently.
No, we got Blues plus 115 here. Winnipeg dominated the middle part, specifically the first period, but St. Louis scores a goal there with less than 30 seconds left in the first period to get this one all knotted up. I still like me some Blues, baby. We're gonna get this. We're gonna even up this series. We're gonna be 2-2 headed back to Winnipeg after today.
We got an NBA game going. We got several more today, and who better to join us than Rick Kamla on the progressive guest line here. Find him over at Rick Kamla Sports on the Twitter machine. You've seen him on TV. You heard him on the radio. Rick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you guys doing today? A lot of great sports action going on.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good. We were talking off air, so we might as well continue the conversation here where both me and Mike were both leaning towards the Pistons, not looking great right now as they find themselves down 10 right before we head into halftime here against this Knicks team. What do you think about this Pistons team's live? You said maybe you were going to take a look at them.
I mean, look, man, I'm looking at it right now. It is a 10-point game. And wow, okay, so it just refreshed on me. The Pistons were plus 10.5. So we got about a minute to go in the first half, 10-point game. I don't know, guys. Like, I feel like this series has been very nip and tuck. I feel like it's a bit of a cat-mouse series, right? New York wins, inexperience for Detroit, especially in the first half of game one. Detroit comes back and wins game two at the Garden, right? A total breakthrough win. Then Detroit kind of predictably doesn't handle prosperity. The Knicks go in there and beat them and just like a party, right? I mean, this is the Pistons. They haven't been in the playoffs in a while. They're home. They come off a win and they lay an egg. Okay. So I kind of thought that today it would be a ball up your fist, season on the line. Let's go get this. And there's still time. It's now an 8-point game right here. Pistons plus 8.5. So that's kind of the way I'm looking here, guys. I'm I'm a big believer in the law of averages, and the Pistons just aren't going to continue to shoot this poorly for the whole game, in my opinion. So I'm probably going to bang the Pistons here at halftime.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up being with you, Rick. As you mentioned, 10-point game right now. Now they cut it down to 8 with 44.3 seconds left. This is a Pistons team that's 2 for 16 from 3-point range. Malik Beasley 0 for 5, Cunningham 0 for 3. You got to think at some point that variance comes back to the Pistons. Now, in the second game of the day, I think really the most fascinating game of the day here, the Lakers heading into Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves, down 2-1 in the series. You got the Timberwolves as a 2.5-point favorite, total sitting at 208.5. What type of response do you think we get from this Lakers team?
Well, is Luka still going to be pouting because he's sick?
Yes, it's like how do we handicap Luka's tummy? Like, that's another thing we've got to do here.
Boo-hoo, man. Boo-hoo. I don't like we all get torn up, right? We get stomach illnesses, we get the sniffles, we get the flu, we get all that stuff. And I'm not relating normal humans to superheroes like Luka Doncic. What I'm saying is, like, in the NFL playoffs, you don't get the option to miss a game. Late in the regular season in the NFL, if you're 7-8 or 8-7, you don't have the option. You have to play. I look at the NBA playoffs the same way. He played, but he half-assed it. I mean, he just kind of went through the motions, just chucking up some shots, frankly hurt his team. And so to me, it's all Luka. Like, are we really going to ask an 800-year-old Mount Rushmore guy to score 4?
Oh, did we lose Rick? Oh, darn. We were in the middle of
bummer.
We were in the middle of an awesome take right there. I know. We were in the middle of an awesome take right there. That was going to be great. I think he was calling LeBron 800 years old, which, he's old. He's awesome.
You get softy Luka for being sick in the playoffs and an 800-year-old LeBron in the same take. I wanted to hear the end of it.
So here's the thing that every time we get these, like, we got Rick again. Okay. Hey, Rick, you were in the middle of an awesome take. We're going to let you start that thing over where you were talking about LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened with my phone right there, but like LeBron goes Herculean, right? Game 3 at Minnesota. And then all these idiots on Twitter, I just smell the race in the thing, right? Oh, this is why LeBron is not the guy, because he's talking with Ant-Man late in the game, right? First of all, they're buddies. They played on the Olympic team together. I mean, what are we doing here, man? Searching for all these ways to bang on LeBron in the midst of another masterpiece, okay? But, guys, and I told your producer, I'm jammed up on this game, man. I do assume that Luke is going to play better. And here's what I'm jammed up on. I think we all saw a 6 or 7 game series, right? So if Minnesota wins, probably not going to go that way. Does Minnesota really go up 3-1 on the Lakers? And think about Minnesota, guys, historically. They are a team that does not handle prosperity. They are a team that will choke on you and will let you down. And, Ant-Man, and I love Ant-Man, but, he'll go out and have a 7 for 20 and that kind of thing. So I just don't know. This is a game that I'm going to live bet. I'm going to check the tenor and check the pulse on all these players. I need lots of cutaways by ABC into the faces of these players. I want to test body language, and I want to see what's up. Because right now, if you back me up against the wall, I'd take the Lakers, okay? But then, like, if Minnesota just smacks them and it's 12-2 to start the game, and obviously the game isn't over at that point, but that would make me feel a whole lot better and galvanize my confidence in the Wolves.
If Luka goes nuclear, I hope his agent has already told him, like, you give like Pepto a shout out, like get a sponsorship out of this thing, like come out and be like, oh, thank God I got that Pepto Bismol in there, about 37 points today. Boston on the road at Orlando. This is 7.5 in favor of the Celtics on the road. We have a sub 200 total, 198.5, the prevailing number out there. Rick, what do you see here with the Celtics on the road?
Celtics are going to win this game, and I believe they're going to cover. The Celtics are pissed off, all right? Like, this is a championship team. This is a team with a bunch of badasses. In Orlando, God bless them, this is what you have to do. You can't back down to the bully. You've got to punch the bully in the face, and they've done that. They've been kind of dirty and all this kind of stuff, knocking Tatum out of what was it, game 2 and game 1. So Orlando has Boston's attention. Boston is now pissed off at Orlando, and I think they're going to go in there and buzzsaw them today. Boston is one of the most automatic road teams I've ever seen. During the regular season, I work for Sports Ethos. We do a lot of betting stuff, right? Betting Boston at home is treacherous. They let their guard down. I think they rely on the home crowd. There's something going on there where they're not super reliable at home. On the road, they're a buzzsaw. I was actually surprised that I actually did hit a live betting thing. Boston was like plus, 7 or 8 late in the game. I played it. Well, they lose by 2 or something like that. So I have a lot of faith in Boston on the road. I think it's 7.5 right now, and that is a bet that I will be playing going into the game. I really like Boston today.
Yeah, game 4 a little bit better for these favorites that are up 2-0 when they head into the other person's arena. We saw the Celtics laying 5 in game 3. Now it's up to 7.5 in game 4. People expecting a much better performance from Boston there. Final game of the night, the Pacers taking on the Bucks. Pacers lead this series 2-1. Milwaukee trying to even it up at home. They're laying 3.5 right now. Total sitting at 226.5. What do you like here?
I will take the Indiana Pacers, fellas. They're the better team. Gary Trent Jr. had to have an out-of-body experience just to get us to this point. Lillard, God bless him, coming back from the blood clotting and the time off. I mean, he's just not there. If it were the regular season, it would have been a longer ramp up. I do appreciate him going out there and playing, but he's not playing well. And I'm not sure he's going to play well tonight. He might, but I think Indiana is clearly the better team. You had an act of God from Gary Trent, and obviously Giannis had a great game. And you look at the game, you look at the box score, not a whole lot else going on for the Bucks in game 3. Okay. That was kind of a lucky win if you ask me. So what's going to happen here, Indy's going to win tonight. They're going to go back home to the field house, close out the Bucks 4-1. All the Giannis trade talk's going to fire up. They're probably going to fire Doc Rivers. Okay. Now, I'm not saying they should, but they probably will. And so that's all, about 3-4 days away, in my opinion.
He's Rick Kamla at Rick Kamla Sports over on the Twitter machine, Sports Ethos as well. Rick, do appreciate it. And don't forget, we always do this. We talk about bets on air and then we get distracted and forget to go make the bet. Don't forget to make the in-game bet here. We just talked about it.
It's a great point.
Yes.
I needed the frying pan upside the head. Dummy, go play the bet. Okay. So I really appreciate that. I had fun with you guys, man.
We do it all the time. We sit there and talk about bets. He's Rick Kamla. Appreciate it, buddy. And thanks for the time today. Mike, Edge Boost, first ever bank account built for bettors. Gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cash back rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Edgeboost.bet, that is edgeboost.bet. Use the promo code BET and deposit $25. And Edge Boost is going to match that deposit for you. Again, edgeboost.bet, edgeboost.bet. We are at the half. And if you want to bet this thing live, I'm going to click my little button here and tell you that the Knicks are 4.5 point favorites on the game line, but the Pistons are 2.5 point second half favorites? Is that what I'm looking at?
I would go over to DraftKings. You can get 5.5, which I may or may not have clicked already, Matt. So Pistons plus 5.5 for the game, laying 1.5 here in the second half. The shooting variance has to be positive here for the Pistons in the second half. Give me some Pistons second half action.
Update you guys on what's going on over in the NHL. Of course, we will see what's happening in the NBA. And guess what? We got some NASCAR as well. Everything in the sports world here on Ready, Set, Bet.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready, Set, Bet here on VSiN. Matt Brown, Mike Somich on a Sunday. Appreciate you guys being with us here, whether you're on Sirius Channel 158 in your car, you're heading to soccer practice. I found out it is soccer season. Mike just let me know. So heading to soccer practice, whatever it might be. Thanks for being with us. If you're at home, YouTube TV, thank you for that as well. VSiN Watch app, and of course, terrestrial stations across this great country of ours. Goal! Why don't we do that in hockey? Why do we only do that in soccer? Like, why don't we do that in hockey? Anyway, goal, St. Louis Blues.
You get more goals. More goals in hockey.
So you can't get as excited.
No.
Okay.
The 1-0 score is much more common in soccer.
Yeah. All right. So 2-1 here in the second period. About 7:50 left in the second period. The Blues take the lead, minus 280 now on the money line. If you think the Jets win this thing, plus 210, and 5.5 is our game total.
Yes, it is. Blues pushed back well here in the second period. Winnipeg took the brunt of the action there early in the second period. St. Louis finds a goal and a seeing eye shot from the blue line, which gets through. So Blues looking good at home again, going for their 14th straight home win.
Mike, right out here behind me, if you were here this week, you would see I have 7 gentlemen who are obviously here together. Look like they are good friends here watching the Blues game, 4 of which are wearing sweaters. It's sweaters, right? They wear
there we go. Yeah.
Sweaters. Yeah, it's cold. Yep. It's ice. So yeah, sweaters.
It's ice.
Yeah, four of them taking in the deal. All of them have a brew pop in hand. So nice early pre-noon beer drinking going on out here at the world's largest sports book. So again, come join us if you ever want to. If you see me and Mike in here, hit us up after we walk out of here. I mean, unless we're going to play golf, and then then we're just going to have to go. Like it's the deal of like, we'll talk to you for sure unless we got to make a tea time, and then it's kind of like I got to go, guys. Sorry.
One of my favorite sportsbook moments, actually, NHL playoffs, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I was in a sportsbook where the Blues were playing the Bruins in Boston, and it was me and 2 other Blues fans and about 40 Bruins fans. All of us wearing sweaters, everybody having a good time. They were giving it to us the entire first period because the Bruins were out playing the Blues. St. Louis gets one late. We're going nuts. That game was over before it started. The Blues hoisted the cup. Phenomenal one, and it's fun when you're the road fan, if you will, right? When it's 3 of you against 40 of them and you're the one celebrating, it feels a little better. Luckily, did not get into a fight that night. I was happy about that one.
My favorite sportsbook moment, funny enough, actually involves horse racing. And if you guys have been with me and Mike over the last couple of years, I've told this story 1 or 2 times, but we have new audience. We have new people. We're back on Sirius XM, so I'll tell it one final time. Me and 2 of my buddies were having a nice old night. We stumble over to the sports book. We want to make a bet. There's 1 race remaining in the entire country, right? And so again, as we talked about at the top of the show, it's parimutuel betting. So as people bet into stuff, the odds change. Well, we don't pay that much attention. We had been having a good time, Mike. And so this horse we look up and it's 90-1 in what we find out is a sprint race, right? So how long are these? Like 300 yards or something like that?
Quarter horses. Yeah, quarter horses. It's like 300 yards takes like 12 seconds.
Yeah, like 300 yards. And we're going 90-1. Like they're only going 300 yards. It's impossible that any horse could be 90-1 that much slower. So, of course, we go bet the horse. Well, it's the last race in the entire country. So everyone is betting that race and everyone wants a lottery ticket. So by the time the race goes off, this 90-1 is down to like 23-1 or something or whatever, Boom, the race goes off, blur, the horses go across the thing, and we're like, oh, hell, maybe we won. Who knows? Like, it's all the horses, whatever. A solid 5 seconds later, here comes our horse, like coming across the line, like he's got 3 legs or something or whatever. He is a full 5 seconds behind every other horse in the field, and they're only running 300 yards. And so we're going, oh, that's why he was 90-1. He is actually that much slower than all the horses. We were dying laughing because everyone's like, oh, why are y'all excited? We're like, I don't know, we might have won. We had a long shot in this race. And then we see this horse just come 5 seconds later, like walking backwards across the finish line. We're like, oh, okay, that's why you don't bet 90-1s.
Well, at least you didn't have to sweat the photo. You knew that you lost, we did not. Right?
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. Like, it was so good. It felt better than winning, actually. Like the fact that he was like a full 5 seconds behind every horse that was in the race. It was so amazing. All right. So we talked about the game that's going right now, 2-1, the Blues and the Jets, 5:47 left in the second period. What about the one that is going here in about an hour? The Carolina Hurricanes and my New Jersey Devils. Yes, because I have a ticket on them. That's why they are my New Jersey Devils. Hurricanes -185 favorites on the road, +154 dogs for the Devils at home. 5.5 the total here. That is greatly juiced towards the under, all the way out to -135 here, Mike.
Now, I know you had the weekend off, Matt, last weekend, but I'm sure that you were watching Ready, Set, Bet when Aaron and I talked about this being the under series of the entire playoffs. That's why you're seeing all of this money coming on the under.
You love my Devils, though, right?
No, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
They're missing Jack Hughes, their best offensive player, and they struggle scoring goals. Not great against a very good defensively structured team in the Carolina Hurricanes. I bet the first period under in game 1, in game 2, in game 3. I'm going to go back to the well. Give me the first period under here in game 4. It's been 1-0 after the first period. Every single game in this series, all of the games have gone under 5.5 as well. I like the first period under more than I like the full game under, but I do like both those bets. But the official play will be first period under here, -120. I think this game goes under as well. If I was going to bet a side, sorry, Matt, I would lay the goal and a half for the Hurricanes here. The Devils struggled scoring, and the Hurricanes have great puck possession and puck control. The problem is they just don't have top-tier offensive talent. So they don't always score a lot, but they do control the pace of the play consistently. And we talked about this yesterday. We pull goalies early in the playoffs. So you get those empty net opportunities. I'd rather lay the goal and a half with the Hurricanes if I was going to bet anything from a side perspective. You can get plus 150 on that. But give me first period under goal and a half minus 120 here.
My New Jersey Devils, I would add, is not near as attractive to me anymore. Unlike the other day where I ended up making a season-long NASCAR bet by accident because the app pulled up the futures market instead of the race that was happening 15 minutes in advance. Unlike that, I did make a bet on the Devils for the President's Cup or trophy or whatever it is, Mike. Not the actual winning the entire thing. So I that's dead already. So I have less on the Devils than I thought. So I don't love them near as much now because I don't have as much riding on them.
I'm going to have to point you to like Gambling 101 videos, Matt. The first thing to do is make sure you're betting into the right market. That matters when you're gambling.
Or just don't bet into sports that you don't pay attention to. How about that? Like there's also that.
Be selective with your wagers, right?
Washington
a bet you don't make can be as good as a bet you do.
Washington Capitals on the road at the Montreal Canadiens. This is minus 135. Caps on the road, plus 114. Canadiens at home. This one is 6.5. However, it is shaded towards the under.
Yeah, this is a series that has produced more goals. We did see an under last time out, an overtime win for the Montreal Canadiens, 3-2. Capitals were up 2-0 heading into Montreal. We talked about this previously with the Magic and the Celtics series. Game 3 for a team that's down 2-0 is a very good spot for that team. Game 4, I think it leans back toward the better team. That's what the Capitals are here. I'm surprised this money line's so cheap. I thought that we were going to see something in the minus 150 range for the Capitals today. You could get them as low as minus 125 in the market earlier today. Right now, we're sitting at minus 130 over at DraftKings. I played the Capitals minus 130, and I sprinkled on the minus a goal and a half at plus 185, Matt. So I like the Capitals today. I think they win. I played the money line, and then I played the minus a goal and a half as well.
9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific. The LA Kings are heading north of the border. They are going to Edmonton, found in which province?
Alberta.
There we go. Edmonton Oilers
right?
Are you? Yes. Yes. Edmonton, Alberta. Yes. Well done. Minus 142 favorites at home, plus 120 for the Kings on the road as dogs. 6.5 is our total here. Also, juice towards the under.
Yeah, same song, different verse here, Matt. Kings were up 2-0. They're the better team. They won both games at home. We went to the road, went to Edmonton. Edmonton able to eke out a win in game 3 that the Kings actually had a lead in and were controlling. This is just a deeper Los Angeles Kings team than Edmonton Oilers. This is not the Edmonton team that made the Cup Finals last year. They lost multiple players during the offseason. We saw Kane miss the first couple games. They're still missing Ekholm, who's their best defender. I have questions in goal. They actually had to switch their goalie after game 2. Give me the plus money with the Kings here. I like them plus 118. I think they go into Edmonton, get the job done, and head back to LA up 3-1 in this series.
Look at you. I like it. 3 bets in the game still to come. Look at that, guys.
I bet every hockey game today, Matt.
I was going to say, you can fire on every single one of the games. I know. So what about NASCAR? Because Steve Mackinnon over in our newsletter, absolutely free, Mike, by the way. Bill AD will throw in some stuff every now and then. All you got to do is go sign up for the newsletter. Again, absolutely free. I guess they're at Talladega today. Underdogs, always a great option at Talladega, says Steve Mackinnon in his simulations. Top 5, Blaney, Byron, Cindric, Busch, and Busher. By the way, we always bet the Bs. And 4 of the 5 Bs right there in his simulations. We also have long shots he likes. Cindric, Wallace, Gilliland? Yeah, we'll go with that. Busher, Barry, Smith, and Stenhouse. And then favorites to struggle are Larson, Hamlin, Bell, and Elliott. But yes, that is what we're looking at here. Again, newsletter, absolutely free. Go in, sign up. Good stuff as always. And of course, if you have not become a VSiN Pro subscriber, $59 now through August the 1st for everything we do, including that betting splits page in which you can head over, see what's going on over at DraftKings, see what's going on over at Circa, 2 different types of bettors betting into these markets. You can see where they differ, where they're the same, and maybe draw some conclusions. Maybe if you're on the fence, you can use it as a tiebreaker. VSiN.com/subscribe, just $59 from now to August the 1st. When we come back, we'll update you on the NBA, the NHL, and all things Major League Baseball.
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Bet with Matt Brown and Mike Somich on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Ready, set, bet here on VSiN. Matt Brown, Mike Somich, and your friends out here at the sportsbook in their sweaters are having a good old time.
Yeah,
I saw some beer being spilt, and I wondered why, and I looked up, and there it is, 3-1. St. Louis puts another one on the board here at the end of the second period. About a minute and a half left. 3-1, St. Louis Blues at home.
Yeah, a lot of speed through the neutral zone for St. Louis right now. That's a key for this Blues team. If they can break out of the zone well and get speed through the neutral zone, they create offensive opportunities off the rush. That's what we saw with that last goal, the third goal for the Blues, where able to get wide, be able to stretch that Winnipeg defense out, and then find the wet puck back into the middle. And just a sloppy goal, but a goal nonetheless, where Shen roofs it over Hellebuck to give the Blues a 3-1 lead.
We were talking to Rick Kamla a little bit earlier. He said, hey, you know what? I don't think this Pistons team can play this poorly in the second half. Let's go ahead, maybe throw in a plus 8.5 on this team. Plus, what was it, 6.5 at half, something like that?
5.5.
5.5.
Plus 5.5 at halftime. Yeah.
So here we are, and we are about 5 minutes into the third quarter. 52-51 there, Mike. A 8-2 scoring advantage here in the third quarter. Yes, 2 points for the Knicks through 5 minutes, and we have got this lead down to 1.
I looked at this. I'm like, 52-51. Great. 8-2 in the third quarter. I bet they're like 2 minutes in. Nope. They're 5 minutes in, Matt. This
5 minutes in.
Still a rock fight, but the Rock's heading in the Pistons direction now.
We are looking at this Pistons squad that is still shooting 10% from 3.
Not good, Matt.
10% from
not
3.
Good.
Yeah. That's it's not going to cut it. I can tell you this.
Hey, give us another.
Oh,
4-1.
Hopefully you had the puck line. Hopefully you had the puck line here for this St. Louis Blues team, because they are now up 4-1. Another one in before we finish the second period. So it looks like they will head to the third period here, Mike, with a 3-goal lead. Look at that. Just whacked it. Oh, and in the redirection there. That's the thing. Shot. That's the thing about hockey, that if you don't watch hockey very much, that when you get to see the slow motion replays of how many of the shots actually aren't the shot itself, but the redirection into the goal, it's really cool. It's really cool.
It is. So goalies, they don't often know where the puck is, but based on experience, they know which side of the net to protect, things like that. So you'll see these goalies move because there's one clear shot lane. Well, if the puck goes toward that shot lane and then gets deflected toward a different one, it gets really hard to stop it. You just have to be in the way. That was a situation there where Falk takes a shot from the point. Hellebuck was going to glove it, and it hits his defenseman's shaft, goes right down off his pad into the net. Blues up 4-1.
4-1. We are under a minute now, so we'll let you know if anything happens before they head to the third period. But looks like St. Louis will be taking a 3-goal lead to the third period there in that one. And we did tie things up over there, 55-55 now, Pistons and the Knicks. The Pistons outscoring the Knicks 12-5 here in the third quarter. Not because they're shooting the 3 well.
We haven't had the Barons come back yet.
Yeah, 10% from 3. But hey, it doesn't matter. 55-55 out there on the scoreboard. Mike, we often go through the news out there in the sporting world, and we try and decide, and we will debate here just a second, whether the news is good or bad.
News. Is it good news?
I got great news, guys.
Or is it bad news?
What type of news is it? Well, to be perfectly frank, it's bad.
This is less about the money involved, which, of course, taking a player that high is going to get paid. Ashton Genty is going to be the second highest paid running back in the league behind Saquon Barkley. When you take a guy at 6 overall, he's going to make a ton of money. But, Mike, let's just kind of more go into the pick itself and what we think of this Raiders team. Now, I don't think we're running to the window to bet the Raiders to win this division or anything like that. But, look, when you need as much as they need, there's only 3 blue chip players in the draft as it is anyway, according to the draft analysts out there. If you can go in and get one of them, I know it's a running back and everyone says you can't take a running back this high in drafts and things like that, but what are you going to do? Are you not taking Ashton Genty if you're the Raiders just because he's a running back, Mike? Are you taking a player just because you feel like you have to? I think it's fine for them. Turn around. We know what Pete Carroll wants to do. He's done this his entire career in the NFL. He wants to run the ball. He wants to have a good running game. I think it fits. I don't have a problem with the pick.
No, I don't have a problem with it either. And I do think that, like, I'm really going to be intrigued to see what, like right now we're seeing 6.5 as the win total for the Raiders. They're a team that I'm probably going to end up playing to the over, Matt. Like this is a team that's going to have a 4th place schedule. The Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs are all going to be good. That's the biggest issue with playing the Raiders toward the over. But if you look from last year, it was Gardner Minshew. Now it's Geno Smith. You've got Ashton Genty at running back. Like Brock Bowers was a phenomenal tight end. Very good draft pick. I think the defense a little frisky with Crosby and Wilkins there on the defensive line. And you have a big time upgrade with an adult in the room at head coach as well. This is one of those teams I think could surprise toward the upside.
900 plus minus 350 for Ashton Genty. 1,000 plus is minus 175. 1,100 yards is still minus 110. You're not getting plus money until you get to 1,200 plus, and that is at plus 150. I understand it. I imagine he's going to get a ton of touches. Also, Mike, as we talked about heading into the draft, he is your true 3-down back as well. They're only going to take him off the field when they need to get him a breather, right? I mean, like he doesn't have to come off because he can't catch passes or he can't run block. And so he will have the opportunity at least to get to these numbers. Now, how effective he will be against the NFL and with this offensive line, all that yet to be determined. But I mean, he's going to get a chance to get to these numbers.
Yeah, he's going to get a ton of carries. We know, as you mentioned, Pete Carroll wants to run the football. You've got Geno Smith back there who needs a supportive running game to be effective in the passing game. Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, okay, wide receivers, not good. So you're going to want to try and establish the run and lean on your defense here if you're this Raiders team. And that means Genty ends up with a significant amount of carries. And so I understand why we have those yardage props. I'm not really running to the window to assume he's going to get 1,200 yards. I think that might be a little bit aggressive here. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Genty has a big season for the Raiders. I do think he's too short in the Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year market, I think he's getting overbet because of the position and the expectations for this team.
Steelers pass on Shedeur Sanders a million times in the draft and end up taking Will Howard. We know, Mike, there's really nobody there yet. I think the writing's on the wall. They're going to make this last-ditch effort to try to get Aaron Rodgers in the building. But Will Howard, at least for now, is the guy that they drafted and possibly, should there be some sort of wonkiness here with Aaron Rodgers, could at least try and compete with a Mason Rudolph and whatnot for the starting gig there. So I thought Howard was fine in college. I never really looked at him as an NFL quarterback. I thought he would kind of be one of those perennial backup type guys, but he might, again, depending on what Aaron Rodgers decides to do, try and compete for a starting gig.
Yeah, and this is another team where, like, if it is Will Howard, and I don't mind Will Howard as a quarterback. He's a game manager style quarterback, shorter passes, accurate distribution of the football, reads defenses very well. So he understands where his options are from a receiving perspective. Like there's, again, you got Jaylen Warren, you had DK Metcalf in the offseason. You've got George Pickens, which can be good or bad, depending on how it's going for him in that specific game. Freiermuth, very good at the tight end position. There are weapons here for the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we know that defense is very good as well. So I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out, because I do think Will Howard, at least an interesting option if he is able to beat out Mason Rudolph for the starting quarterback position. Again, tough division to be heading into. I mean, the Bengals defense is atrocious. They're going to be atrocious again next year, but the Ravens and Browns should be very, very good from a defensive perspective. And you're facing a little better of a schedule than you are with the Raiders side as well.
Unlike with the Browns, where we're pretty confident that a rookie is going to start week one, I feel fairly confident in the Steelers organization and Mike Tomlin to probably go with Mason Rudolph at least for a game or two until he proves that he's terrible. But I do think they skip over Skylar Thompson to go to a Will Howard. I don't think that you don't make the move from Mason Rudolph to Skylar Thompson. You probably see what you have. If you're going to move off of the dude that's been there, you're probably at least going to go with the guy and see if you have anything. So again, this is all playing out if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, I don't expect Will Howard to play 17 games like we do maybe some of these other rookies, but he could play 14.
I don't think he plays 17.
Yeah.
I don't think he plays 5, if we're being honest. Yeah. I think it's like a 75% chance that you see Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers uniform next year.
Yeah. I mean, it seems that way, the way they were talking, right?
Yep. And it's the last spot for him. You have a good defense. You have, to me, it's really the only landing spot left for Aaron Rodgers. And it's a team that has title aspirations and a title level defense, and not a title level quarterback. You're not winning a title with Mason Rudolph. You're not winning a title with Will Howard. I don't think you're winning a title with Aaron Rodgers either, but you have a heck of a lot better chance than one of those two guys.
We got 10 seconds here before we got to head out of here. It's not going to change the way we're going to bet this team, but your Dolphins did go get a backup in Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, I wish it was Shedeur Sanders. But hey, what can you do?
What are you going to do? Hey, listen, maybe who knows? He might end up having to play, depending on how the injury situation goes. Guys, for just $400 all in. Yes, that is the price. You can come right here to Circa, get a 2-night stay, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, and a day bed up at Stadium Swim. We talk about this all the time. It is the most unique sporting viewing experience in the city up at Stadium Swim. Come on in, $400 all in. Not going to hit you with crazy fees and prices, all of that available at circalasvegas.com.